Next audience question. Mark?
Good evening. Currently, in the general plan approved by the city, there is a part of it apparently is the master plan. Well, it is part of the master plan for bike master plan. And in that plan, apparently the city wants to go ahead and put in bike paths all over the city. And I know right now they're looking at doing that up on Prospect. And given that a lot of us have pushed back and didn't really ever approve the master bike plan ourselves, it was done by the city council. I'd like to know which ones of you moving forward want to put bike paths or bike boulevards or bike ways of some sort up on Prospect, which is going to grind down the traffic to a halt. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Matt, you're next up.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Mark. As far as this question, this actually came before City Council 2 meetings ago on this, and I know it's an issue as far as what's going to happen on Prospect. Depends if the data is there, but from what I'm hearing from the residents on Prospect, they don't want that. As far as the bike master plan, I'm a big bike rider. I love riding a bike, but I'm also realistic with my time management. So my bike riding usually happens on weekends. It's a recreational exercise, but during the week, I'm not using a bike for my major mode of transportation. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Mary?
Okay, I don't feel like I know enough about the bicycle master plan, although I've seen it and I've scanned it, and so I know it's a multi-pronged approach, and I definitely I have a lot of concern for people who do ride bikes and alternative forms of transportation that want to have some parity and some fairness as it pertains to how they can get around. And I know one of the things that's very concerning about bicycles and motorcycles and some of these alternative forms of transportation is safety. So certainly if that ever came before me, I think it would be a pretty robust discussion about all of those kinds of things, the impact to traffic, the impact to residents, the impact to safety potentially, and then I think maybe we could come up with something of a compromise moving forward.
Thanks, Mary. Haney?
The issue that was before the council was basically whether or not the city should apply to get a grant for the money for the grant to evaluate Prospect to see whether or not safety improvements in Prospect will be helpful. As most of you know, Prospect has schools or connected to, I think, collectively 4 schools. Safety issues in Prospect have been an issue, including the time, actually right the day before we had the city council meeting, my city manager and I went out there to look at something else in Prospect, and we could tell a lot of people don't stop on the stop signs, and those that stop immediately after a stop sign just speed up. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So basically there's concerns about safety issues in Prospect, so I voted for that city to apply for that grant. That grant money, when it comes available, will evaluate safety issues. That recommendation will come back to council, and then council will make a decision based on that. I think that's the right thing to do. Why turn away money that's going to evaluate how we can make our city safer? So I definitely voted for that. As far as the big picture master plan, there are some discussions, including the general plan, about, for example, some people were interested in having bike paths in PCH, and I was significantly opposed to that. I don't think that PCH is safe for bicycles. Unfortunately, we've had at least 1 recent death in PCH on Redondo Beach. So I'm in favor of having bikes when it's safe, but in PCH and other roads where our traffic people tell us it's not safe to do it, I would not be supporting it.
Thanks, Haney. Trent?
Yeah, bike lanes specifically for bikes, I don't believe belong on Prospect Avenue. In fact, I really don't believe they belong anywhere in Hermosa. The Sharrows, like for example, down on Hermosa Avenue, I think work pretty well. So I'm okay with that. But individual bike lanes that would take up space on the road, I would not be in favor of. One thing I will say about bikes, and I own a bike and I ride a bike and I have fun on it, is that I would hope that we would start making the bikers follow the same rules as the cars, as they are supposed to. They go through the intersection right here at 25 miles an hour like nobody's going to hit them. And all of the people in the cars are put at jeopardy, because if you hit somebody on a bike in a car, basically it's your fault. Okay? And when somebody's going through the intersection at 20 miles an hour and you're in a car and you just started out and you're looking around, it's dangerous. And I think we should ticket them if they do that. So I love bikes. I got a bike. You might see me riding around town on it. I don't think we should have bike lanes on Prospect. I'm okay with the Sharrows, especially down along Hermosa Avenue. Thank you.
Thanks, Trent. Pete?
Thank you. Yeah, the bikes, and let's go back really years ago, the safety on Prospect has never really been addressed. I know the councils have tried to get that done. I know at the last council meeting, I believe it was Councilwoman Petty was not happy with the way the striping on the street had deteriorated, which is a key element in keeping you safe on that street. Making this a bikeway or part of the bike plan, really 70% of our residents really need their cars to get to work. We have no public transportation, and I've always felt that we need to really look at public transportation to get you down to corridors where you can get a connector bus to where you need to go, because most people are not going to ride their bike to work. The weekends, bicycles are everywhere in this community. It's more recreation and probably going downtown and going to the local stores. But we need to, we need to look at the safety aspect. The government agency that we are asking the grant money for is also the government agency that has really pigeonholed the Caltrans project, according to Caltrans. Some reason we can't make headway with the South Bay COG, but they're willing to come in and try to help us with Prospect, where if we got Pacific Coast Highway to where it was a more usable street and
summarize?
traffic flowed better, we wouldn't have the traffic on Prospect. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Stacy?
Thank you. As Councilmember Fangari explained, we approve funding a design with grant money to explore ways to make Prospect safer for pedestrians on a temporary basis. There was strong and overwhelming support from that neighborhood, from our schools, and from the Beach Cities Health District, among many other agencies that wrote in their support. This, again, is a temporary design, and it would involve installing bulb outs, painting new lines, installing some signage, using landscaping to improve the safety and visibility of our pedestrians. This is a safe route to school, one that I walk my own children on, and I see how dangerous it is. This was a great opportunity to improve the safety for the residents in that neighborhood and for our children.
Thanks, Stacy.